FY2025.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank all of you for joining us to begin as we begin our FY 2025 budget process. We're all here tonight to make sure that our county budget reflects our values and priorities for the future of our community. I appreciate all of you for taking the time for this important discussion. I want to especially thank our Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Stanley Early, who's on the line tonight, and his entire team for continuing to lead us in a budget process. I know that they're excited and are ready to hear from you, as am I. This fiscal year presents challenges for our county budget. We have projected a $171 million deficit for FY25. This means that we will need to make difficult choices as we put together our county's budget. Even during this difficult budget cycle, we can still prioritize programs that matter to residents' health, safety, and overall well-being. This shortfall means that we'll have to make difficult choices, but we can still make progress that matters to Prince Georgians and the long-term growth of our community. In our FY 2025 budget, we'll continue to invest in our proud priorities to accomplish these goals. Together, through prudent fiscal management, active participation in the legislative process, and efforts to include Prince Georgians in every part of governing, we've set our community on a path to a greater long-term success. During the 2025 budget cycle, we'll work hard to balance our budget priorities in a way that maximizes the benefit of residents' tax dollars. Over the past 5 years, we've taken strides forward. We've moved forward with police reforms, launched new initiatives to grow our economy along the Blue Line, worked to protect workforce housing, completed 6 new schools with 8 more on the way, and secured historic federal investments in our county, including the future site of the FBI headquarters. Overall, we have moved forward on all of our proud priorities. As we have in past years, we want our budget to reflect our proud priorities. These priorities guide our work. Our 6 categories of proud priorities include education, youth development, quality of life, economic development, healthy communities, and safe neighborhoods. Our task in county government is to seize this moment for residents by advancing our proud priorities, even amid projected budget shortfalls in FY 2025. We want to continue to track our record of renewed investment in programs that help reduce gun violence. We also want to continue to improve government efficiency. This coming budget session, we're planning to continue investing in these priorities, helping to open new schools, improve public safety, and further sensible economic development that helps us take the tax burden of these budgets off the backs of county residents. We're planning improvements that repair and rebuild our stormwater management infrastructure, funding for public safety agencies so they can maintain their needed presence in our communities, and funding to help make procurement even more efficient, and improving our local healthcare infrastructure, all in ways that fit into a sustainable budget for the coming fiscal year. We'll stay focused on our proud priorities and make sure that this government maximizes the potential of growth for every resident from every walk of life. Through our county budget process, we have a chance to hear from our agencies regarding their budget priorities for the coming fiscal year. But right now, we want to hear from residents. We represent you and the services that our county agencies provide for you. Your voices are a critical part of this budget process. Your input helps us make progress on the issues that matter most to Prince Georgians. Once again, thank you all for being here and for engaging with your county government. We truly could not do this work without you, and I look forward to hearing from all of you and the priorities that you want to see us focus on in this upcoming budget. With that, I'll turn it over to my team to go over some logistics. Then I'll look forward to hearing from all of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Madam County Executive. Once more, welcome to the FY 2025 Proposed Budget Listening Session. My name is Sasha Bigelow, and I serve as the Deputy Director of Policy, Planning, and Public Affairs. And tonight, I will serve as the host for this listening session. Before we begin the meeting, I would like to briefly cover housekeeping items to ensure a smooth session. Number one, if you have registered to speak, please make sure your Zoom name reflects the name you used to register for the budget listening session. This is needed to find and unmute you to begin your remarks. Number two, once you are identified and unmuted, please activate your camera. You will be allocated 3 minutes to make your remarks this evening. You will hear a chime at the end of your 3-minute period. Please be mindful that you will be muted shortly after that chime if you don't wrap up your thoughts quickly. This is necessary to keep us on time and ensure that everyone who is registered has time to speak. Number three, closed captioning is available for all residents who may need the service. Please go to your toolbar at the bottom of your screen and click CC for closed captioning and select Show Subtitle. Number four, Spanish language translation services are also available this evening. If you need Spanish translation, please go to the toolbar at the bottom of your screen and click Interpretation button and choose the Spanish interpretation channel. The Office of Management and Budget is still accepting written comments on the FY 2025 proposed budget. All written comment must be submitted to omb@co.pg.md.us. That's an email, omb@co.pg.md.us by the close of business Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. And number six, finally, before we get to our speakers, we want to level set and remind everyone that the topic of discussion tonight is the county's FY 2025 budget and how you, the resident, wish to see that budget prioritized. Okay? Comments that are not on topic of the budget priorities and comments which discriminate against race, gender, religious belief, country of origin, or sexual orientation will be muted by our moderators. Likewise, comments on political campaigns will also be muted by our moderators, as this is not a platform for political campaigns. We ask that speakers maintain decorum and respect during their comments. Tonight, we have 48 speakers registered. I will call up to 3 names at a time in the order in which they are meant to offer their comments. Again, I will call up to 3 names at a time in the order in which they are meant to offer their comments. When you hear your name, please be prepared to provide your comments. Now that goes back to your cameras and your microphone. When it is your turn, you will be able to turn on your camera and begin your remarks. Again, remarks are limited to 3 minutes and conclude your remarks once you hear the tone. With that, our first speakers will be Amy Olivo, Ali Milner, Amy Pergowski.
Good evening, County Executive Alsobrooks, county staff, and fellow Prince Georgians. My name is Amy Olivo, and I'm the Executive Director of Artworks Now, located at 4800 Rhode Island Avenue in Hyattsville. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this evening regarding the upcoming budget. At Artworks Now, we envision a world where all people explore and engage in creative practices that transform their lives and their communities. Artworks provides an incredible range of free and reduced cost programming to Prince Georgians ages 2 through 102. We serve residents at our Hyattsville location, at several locations in the Portstown area, and virtually to all residents across the county. One of our most successful and sought after programs is our free creative aging art classes for older adults. This program is specifically designed to address anxiety, depression, and loneliness through the development of creative skills and social engagement. We are able to offer this free programming in part thanks to our community partnership grant. One participant says, "Your program has reignited my joy and creativity and kept my depression at bay." Another says, "Participating in the creative aging programs has deeply enriched my life at such a critical time. It has enhanced joy and sparked creativity and expanded my community at a time when it was diminishing." While it is always my pleasure to share more about Artworks Now, my main purpose in being here this evening is to urge additional funding to the Community Partnership Grant budget. Based on a recent letter from OMB to nonprofit applicants, this year there were 229 applicants requesting more than $16 million, while the total funding pool available is only $2.5 million. We are now anxiously awaiting word to see if we are one of the lucky few who will receive grant funding this year. Nonprofit organizations such as Artworks Now and so many others provide crucial support to Prince George's County residents across all sectors. I know this is a very tough budget cycle, and I argue that a tough budget cycle is the exact reason to increase funding to county nonprofits. We use our dollars incredibly wisely, and many of us partner with each other to ensure an even greater impact for residents. As you say, County Executive Also Brooks, to go far, we must go together. Please increase funding for nonprofit organizations in Prince George's County so that we can go further together. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Amy. Allie.
Good evening, Executive Also Brooks, and thank you for this invaluable opportunity to address the council. I'm Allie Milner. I'm the Emergency Services Manager for Laurel Advocacy and Referral Services. For nearly 4 decades, our organization has been a lifeline to the greater Laurel area, providing services to support low-income and homeless individuals and families through essential things like food assistance, eviction prevention services, economic independence programs, and long-term housing solutions. Prince George's County has been an unwavering partner, and for that, we are deeply grateful. Yet the aftermath of the pandemic has left our communities grappling with relentless challenges. While your support has been instrumental, the demand for safety net services has surged. To meet this escalating need, we implore you to continue your generous funding for LARS and services like LARS. At LARS, we firmly believe in preventing homelessness at its roots, and I come before you today to earnestly request non-departmental funds of $200,000 for eviction prevention services in fiscal year 2025 budget. The numbers underscore the urgency of our plea. In fiscal year 2022, LARS allocated over $400,000 for eviction prevention services, and in the past fiscal year, this figure soared to over $760,000. This translates to 239 families assisted, each receiving an average of $3,200. A crucial lifeline towards stability. While I wish I could report triumph over the crisis, our county and community still grapple with the ever-mounting challenges. Rising rental costs, escalating utility bills, and soaring prices of essentials continue to push more and more individuals and families to seek our assistance. Adding to the crisis, over half of the eviction prevention funds we distributed last year came from the American Rescue Plan Act funds, which are now exhausted. My team faces the front lines daily, receiving heart-wrenching pleas from families in our community, like this one from BB, a single mother striving for a better life. She says, "I'm going through a transition to better times and can use some help with our rent. We just moved and my car broke down. I need a little help to get back in order. Please assist if you're able." Or this plea from a local veteran, "My rent is increasing significantly. I'm a veteran on a fixed income. I'm seeking more affordable apartment. Can LARS assist me with a security deposit?" We have received 3 times as many calls for assistance than we currently have the funding capacity to address. This highlights the glaring gap between the need and our capacity. The need is profound. Lars is steadfast, and we are ready to serve. All we require is the necessary funds. Thank you for your unwavering support and for lending your attentive ear this evening. Together, let us continue making a tangible difference in the lives of those in our community who need it most. Thank you.
Thanks, Allie. Amy, you're up.
Hi, good evening. My name is Amy Pergoski. I've been a homeowner in District 1 for over 23 years and have volunteered at the county animal shelter for over 18 years. As the county faces hard decisions on the budget for 2025, I would like you to consider the well-being of the homeless animals in your care at the county shelter in Upper Marlboro. For years, I have testified of inadequate staffing and resources at the shelter and how the county's pit bull ban, or BSL, in place for 27 years as of February 9th is a complete failure. BSL takes up precious kennel space and does nothing for public safety. It contributes to the deaths of countless good dogs. Allow me to explain how these two issues, inadequate staffing and BSL, contributed to the animal shelter shutdown last month. On January 4th, the shelter was shut down to the public and volunteers due to an unknown illness circulating among the dogs. It was later determined to be the strep zoo virus. According to a news report, 30 dogs in the shelter died as a result. Veterinary experts state this virus can spread quickly in kennel or shelter settings where animals are stressed and where there is overcrowding. Of course, the animals are stressed since there isn't enough staff to provide even daily walks and enrichment. Some evening shifts only have 2 caretakers on duty to care for well over 200 cats, dogs, and other critters. On January 18th, when the announcement was made that the shelter would open back up to the public on the 20th, the website listed 151 dogs in the shelter. 54 of those dogs were labeled as pit bull mixes. 1/3 of the shelter's canine population is the very breed you've been banning for 27 years. How can anyone think this is a success, especially when jurisdictions across the country, have been repealing theirs? So for 2025, I only have 2 requests. First, hire more qualified staff who truly care about animal welfare and their well-being. The solution is not to provide less care for the animals by reducing staff hours. Staff turnover is very high there because communication has been poor. Also, compassion fatigue is real, and constantly euthanizing young, healthy animals for space week after week takes its toll. Second, repeal the pit bull ban since it just wastes county resources. Apply those resources to help the public keep their pets. Currently, nonprofit groups with lower operating budgets than yours are helping pet owners do exactly what the county should. I encourage everyone on County Council and you, Ms. Brooks, to go visit the shelter, see how stressful it is for the animals, given the constant staff shortage, and meet some of the pit bull type dogs who are victims of a failed law and are taking up 1/3 of your kennel space and precious limited resources. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Amy. I will now call the next names. April, yes.
Hey there. I think, Sasha, your sound went out. So I'll go ahead and repeat the next 3 names that are up for testimony. Miss April Gower Getz, Miss Belinda Queen, and Miss Karen Forston. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm April Gower-Getz, the Executive Director for the Prince George's Provider Council, a membership organization of more than 30 agencies providing services and supports for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I'd like to start by thanking you for the opportunity to give testimony and for your support. For the past 7 years, the Provider Council has partnered with the county to offer provider agencies throughout the county grant to help supplement the wages they pay their direct support staff. These staff members are essential to the daily lives of Prince Georgians who live with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The supplement has helped provider agencies to raise their wage for this important work by more than $1 an hour. However, state funding rates have not kept pace for the growing minimum wage or inflation. Service providers have had to offer low wages that are often right around the minimum wage mark. These are not minimum wage jobs. Direct support professionals are no longer only caregivers. They are clinicians, service coordinators, job coaches, teachers, counselors, and more. Yet most start at a wage lower than what could be earned at such places as Target or Wegmans. Last year at this time, our membership reported more than 400 direct support staff vacancies. The supplement grant helped that vacancy rate decrease from 25% to 18%. However, current vacancies continue to impact the ability for county residents to access the services they need. We need to attract a quality workforce. We cannot compete with industries that pay more and require less expertise. These are professional positions that require a professional wage. The shortage of staff creates a quality of life issues for some of our most vulnerable citizens. Imagine their lives without supports mentioned. Therefore, we were asking for a supplement to be increased to $5 million for fiscal year 25. We know that in the county, there are about 150 people enrolled in services through the Developmental Disabilities Administration, which are not being served because our organizations cannot hire and retain staff. Our turnover rates continue to be above 30%. As a result, families cannot obtain the approved services they need. They must provide the supports, often resulting in a huge burden to them, including financial issues. While raising the supplement to $5 million will not solve all these issues, it will help organizations bring people into or back into service. We thank you for your support and hope you will find room in your budget to increase our supplement to $5 million for fiscal year 25. We're happy to meet with you or your staff to discuss any questions you may have. And as always, we invite you to visit our agencies to see the services in action. Thank you.
All right, next we have Casey Dyson, Charles Colbert, and Corina Atcherson. Please step onto the platform. It is your turn for testimony. Okay, we'll move right along. We have a Courtney Harris, Deborah Capone, Diana Torres. Please remember when your name is called, you may step up onto the platform and begin your testimony. Thank you so much. Oh. Go ahead, Ms. Forston, you may begin.
Oh, thank you. I'm Karen Forston, the CEO of the Prevention of Blindness Society of Metropolitan Washington, a charitable nonprofit with goals to ensure equitable vision access across all stages of life. We provide eye health education, vision screening, glasses, and support services for people with chronic vision loss. Today, I'm seeking $127,000 to establish a low vision resource center in the county. Low vision is defined as irreversible vision loss due to diseases including glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, and more. POB walks alongside people on their vision journey. For the last 35 people, we've helped thousands of people with vision impairment at our centers in Bethesda, Alexandria, and DC. Today, county seniors with vision challenges have no local place to turn for help. Sight is an essential function of independent life. However, as people age, it's common for our eyes to undergo changes that threaten this independence. I'd like to tell you Sherry's story. She recently visited our center. When diabetic retinopathy left her visually impaired, she couldn't tell her medications apart or cook. She became afraid of falling and seldom left her home to visit with friends and family, decreasing her quality of life. At the Resource Center, she met with a low vision optometrist to understand these struggles and frustrations. Together, they created a plan to help her regain her confidence. She also met with resource navigators who discussed tips and resources to accomplish daily tasks. Recently, Sherry wrote me, "These services have renewed my hope and my determination to live and enjoy as full and independent a life as possible." Sherry's story represents the 20,000 county seniors who will have a vision challenge by 2025. This county needs this program. Seniors with impaired vision are twice as likely to fall, and falls are the #1 cause of injuries resulting in hospitalization, decreased mobility, and death. This past summer, Council Chairman Hawkins invited us to a community forum on blindness and vision impairment because there were no such bricks and mortar services in the area. This turnout was impressive, demonstrating a clear need for these services. His hope and our dream is to bring a low vision resource center here. Council Executive Also Brooks, thank you. It is time to take action and help our visually impaired neighbors live safer, healthier, and more connected lives. We're ready. Let's work together. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Charles Colbert, Karina Atcherson, Courtney Harris. All right. Diana Torres, Effie Baldwin, Eric Afoakwa, and I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. Heaven Jordan, Ileana Chaveria, James Johns. Jamie Tolson, Gina Osmani. Oh, I see Miss Deborah Capone has joined us. Miss Deborah, this is your turn.
Thank you. I'm Deborah Capone, District 2 resident and Prince George's County Memorial Library System librarian. My colleagues and I have had the great job of welcoming the community into the new, much improved Bladensburg branch. We always enjoy introducing visitors to what the library has to offer, but particularly gratifying for me has been reconnecting with those familiar with the old branch. We hear words like amazing and wow. And we also often hear, "We're so glad you're back." They missed the library while we were gone, and I use "we" intentionally. A beautiful new building is not a library without dedicated, skilled, and compassionate staff to connect customers to the resources they seek, even when what they seek is not yet clear to them. One customer, Ricardo, told me during the ribbon cutting ceremony that he took time away from his workday to show support for the library because, he said, the library is important. He was proud to have the new building in the community for everyone to use and shared that his current professional life started in the old branch. He needed a new start. Someone told him, "Go to the library, talk with the librarians." He did, and he now has his own business and the means to give back to his community. My colleagues and I can share many similar stories, and we will have even more. With more space and equipment and new positions, including more bilingual positions, we are able to offer more programs and services to more people. Our work is rewarding. It is also demanding. We welcome everyone, all ages and backgrounds, in every kind of situation, and we operate all our branches, including a robust virtual branch with less than 1% of the county's budget. Funding for PGCMLS is a small but valuable investment in the lifelong learning of all Prince Georgians. We are grateful for the county's support, which is crucial to maintaining collections, services, and programs. I urge you to also fully fund PGCMLS's staff compensation request. Funding the modest, contractually obligated compensation for library employees will help our wages keep pace with the rising cost of living and provide modest merit increases to eligible employees so that we can retain our talented workforce. I also urge you to fund a required classification study estimated to cost $160,000. The study ensures that employee duties and wages are comparable with those of other local library systems. Thank you for your service to the county and your support of the library, and thank you for your time this evening.
All right, thank you. Hopefully you can all hear me clearly again. We're gonna have to go back and make sure that we include folks that we have missed. And we'll start with the first three names that I have here. We have a Belinda Queen. Belinda, please unmute yourself. And then we'll have a Courtney Harris.
I think I'm unmuted now. Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead, Belinda.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Davis, for taking my call too, because I was like, wait a minute, I'm here. Okay.
No worries.
I want to say good evening, Madam County Executive, to all of you guys. I'm the president-elect of the Central Coalition of Prince George's County, representing the Central Coalition of Prince George's County. I am a resident of D25. Again, I am Belinda Queen. We're asking that the budget be prioritized on service needs of our residents in our community, to not keep giving the same nonprofits or people who are outside of our residents, but support some of the local nonprofits and spread the money equally across each district. We would also like that for your directors of each department to spend more time in our local communities to know what the community members need. We have a lot of needs, but our directors need to be accessible and they need to be out in the community, just like Director Davis is all the time. As stated in your opening speech, this year will be hard for many. So we, the Central Coalition, is asking you to continue to support the Food Council, which is so very important. People more than ever will need support, especially our singers of food and food programs and food services. So it's so very important that you support programs like the Food Council to make sure that food is available to our residents across the state. It was stated earlier by one of the speakers about affordable houses. We definitely need to have more affordable houses for our seniors and our residents, but we also need to take time, especially as directors and head of department, to look at some of the programs we already have and to make sure that services are being equally spread across the board to people, and people who are no longer qualified need to be taken out of these programs. We have people who are in housing programs that really are making too much money and they need to be going to the people who are in need. I mean, these are some of the services we definitely ask you to do just to make sure things are being done across the board, things are fair, and even our nonprofits or our programs that we have and services that are available. Sharing is king. In 2024, more than ever, we say to you all, to our county executive, to every director who is listening, whatever services are better available to our residents, to our community, share that information across the board. Don't just share it to your family and friends. I need you sharing it to all my residents of Prince George's County. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. And with that, I will ask Courtney Harris to unmute themselves and turn on your camera. You're up next. Okay, Courtney, I'm going to let you work it out, and that's okay. And if we can unmute Mr. Charles Colbert, unmute Mr. Charles Colbert, you'll be up next, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
You have the floor. 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. I apologize for my connection issues. Good evening, County Executive, also Brooks, County staff, and fellow residents. My name is Charles Colbert, and in addition to being a Prince George's proud resident, I am currently serving as a commissioner on the Town of Upper Marlboro Board of Commissioners. I speak tonight to make two budget requests. One, appropriation of funding for the Town of Upper Marlboro redevelopment efforts, and two, funding of the Western Branch Levee project for downtown Upper Marlboro. Over the past few years, the Town of Upper Marlboro has been working to redevelop and redefine its plan for downtown and surrounding areas for revitalization. We've engaged residents and contracted with an economic development firm to provide expert guidance on what and how we can make positive change to impact the residents, not only of the town, but the greater Upper Marlboro area. That firm solicited input from residents in and out of town, business and property owners, elected officials at the state and county level, and anyone else who had a vested interest in the town and was willing to provide input. Last year, we on the Town Board of Commissioners approved the town's vision plan, providing avenues for commercial revitalization, increased housing availability, and recreation. Since 2017, the Prince George's County Redevelopment Authority has included in its capital improvement plan budget a line item of $2.5 million for infrastructure improvements and redevelopment of downtown Upper Marlboro. This funding has been consistently delayed, and in the FY24 budget was slated for initial release in FY27. We request that the initial funding increment of $500K be released in the upcoming fiscal year to enable furtherance of the goals laid out in the town's vision plan. Goals such as streetscape redesign for pedestrian and vehicle safety, Main Street reconfiguration, and revitalization of old and abandoned buildings for mixed-use development. With approximately 64% of the buildings and land in the town being government-owned and therefore untaxable, the county releasing this funding is integral to achieving these goals. In a recent WTOP article, the county's chief of community planning indicating that dissuading growth outside the Beltway may be a necessary strategy within the county's overall development plan. Understanding that the focus on transit-oriented development, we do encourage the county executive's office and members of the council to further consider the large swath of residents that also sit at the intersection of two thoroughfares here in the eastern part of the county. Regarding the levee project, in the last 6 weeks, there have been several weather occurrences that caused major disruption. During that 6-week period, Water Street in downtown and State Highway 725 both flooded at times, leaving only one viable entry and exit point to the town. When these floods occur, vehicles and pedestrians become endangered and traffic is severely disrupted. Residents of Valley Lane, for instance, on the edge of town, were trapped in their homes for days until the water receded, to the point where a mother returning from work travel had to be guided through the woods in order to reach her family. The levee project would increase capacity of the Western Branch to accommodate the
Charles, you may have cut off.
Sorry about that. The levee project would increase capacity of the Western Branch to accommodate the floodwaters, reducing overflow flooding throughout the commercial and residential centers of town. Both of these requests fall squarely in line with the Prince George's proud priorities of maintaining and improving quality of life, increasing economic development, and creating and maintaining safe neighborhoods. I welcome the opportunity to discuss any of these matters further, and I thank you for the opportunity to provide this testimony as well as your time and consideration of these requests.
Thank you so much, Charles. Now, Courtney, I know you've been waiting. I'm not sure if you're able to go off mute. I'll give you 5 more seconds to see if you can do that. Next 2 folks to sign up will be Eric Afuokwa and Mr. James Johns. If you guys can get ready. Courtney. All right, we're gonna go straight to Mr. Eric.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you are being heard.
Hello, good evening, County Executive Also Brooks. Thank you so much for your time. My comment or / questions around school budgeting, specifically for District 4 and the Church Road corridor. I'm concerned because there are a number of planned developments in the area, and I'm worried that we don't have the capacity to absorb those new developments without new school buildings. On top of that, the schools that are zoned for our communities are really aging. So the question is, or the comment is hopefully you'll have some provisions or prioritization for new building along the Church Road corridor in the Fairview community. And also, I hope that you can consider ancillary sort of systems to support students as they mature through the school system. So I don't know if there are specific budgeting earmarks for this area, but to complement some of this new development and to have value, we really need to focus on the schools and the quality of the buildings that the students are attending. And so that's basically what I had to say. So hopefully that's prioritizing the budget, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Eric. Next up, we'll have Jamie Tolson. Jamie, if you're here.
Sorry, can you hear me better now? I had a technical issue just now.
I can hear you. Do you have a camera? Here you are.
Hello, good evening, County Executive Officer Brooks. My name is Jamie Tolson. I'm a firefighter for the Prince George's County Fire and EMS Department. I've been a firefighter for about 9 years now. My hope is that we can talk to you about staffing increases for our fiscal year coming up, hopefully around the number of 200-something firefighters. Long story short, we've been struggling recently with keeping up with our staffing allocation numbers. The forced mandatory overtime has been a real big detriment to us. There are some people in the department, myself included, that have been struggling with mental health, with the mandatory callbacks, not knowing when we go to work, if we're going to be able to go home or not. There's also issues about personnel safety due to this as well, for us being burnt out, tired, and the safety issues with not having the firefighters that are necessary to complete day-to-day operations. My hope is that we can hopefully get around 230 firefighters hired between now and next fiscal year, just to get up to people retiring, attrition, people going to other jurisdictions, and things along those lines. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Jamie. Jeff Lemieux, if you're ready, you're up next.
Hi, this is Jeff Lemieux. I'm with Friends of the Greenbelt East Trail, which is a trail project that doesn't exist yet. We're trying to get it built in between Greenbelt and Glendale in north and north central Prince George's. I don't have a specific budget request, which may be a great relief to you guys. Thank you for doing this. But I do have some comments about budgetary priorities within the county. Last year, we had 128 people killed on our roads, including 39 pedestrians. And we've had some, terrible instances of people killed on the roads just recently this year and late last year, including a 4-year-old girl was killed in Glendale along where we're trying to build the Greenbelt East Trail. A pedestrian was killed on the other end of the trail in near Greenway Center. And according to the statistics on Zero Deaths Maryland, 40 of these were related to speed, 22 to aggressive driving, 50 to distracted driving. And so the budgetary priority that I'm asking you for is to make sure that our Department of Public Works and Transportation emphasizes safety on the roads, including traffic calming. There's only so much we can do at this point with automated enforcement of speed, although Delegate Healy has a Prince George's specific bill at the state that might allow us to expand that to help it either prevent incidences like we had at the Riverdale Park Elementary recently. And I think that the main thing that I've been getting from Friends of the Greenbelt East Trail when I work with the county is a tremendous amount of support in theory. But at the operational level, they're just not prepared to build things like protected bike lanes, and they're not willing to make sort of what I would call aggressive coordination with the State Highway Administration and local jurisdictions to improve sidewalks and to otherwise help make it safe for people on our roads. So my request from a budgetary priority is to really direct DPW&T and other economic development agencies to concentrate on fixing up our existing neighborhoods, fixing up our existing roads, concentrating inside the Beltway, even though our project would be outside the Beltway, and helping keep Prince George's safe by making it safe for all people on our roads, and helping send the message that we're not going to tolerate people who just drive through our neighborhoods at high speed and put us all in danger. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. We're going to move on now. Julia Groenfield.
Good evening. My name is Julia Grenfelt, and I serve as the program manager with the Prince George's County Food Equity Council, which is a local food policy council that helps residents grow, sell, and choose healthier foods. So I'm here tonight with our members and partners to respectfully request funding for food and farm priorities in this fiscal year budget. For over 10 years, the Food Equity Council has been working with county agencies and food and farm stakeholders to build a food system our residents can be proud of. Our vision is a food system where local food businesses thrive and where every resident can find healthy, affordable, sustainably produced, and culturally appropriate foods in their neighborhood, regardless of their zip code. To continue this important work, we respectfully request funding for the following priorities. First, we ask for financial support to fund Prince George's County Food Rescue, the county's first food recovery platform, which is run and operated by our organization, and which has made an important contribution to reducing food waste and food insecurity in the county by rescuing surplus food from local businesses and delivering it directly to local food pantries. Second, we are requesting funding to support county food assistance providers, which have continued to serve essential emergency food assistance to high client numbers. These organizations require support to cover staffing and infrastructure costs to keep their operations running. Third, we ask that you continue to fund Maryland Market Money Program, a program that increases the buying power of residents shopping with federal food and nutrition benefits at farmers markets. Fourth, we are requesting funding to reinstate a planning department food systems planner, a pivotal position to ensure food security, sustainability, and resilience. Since the staff member in this position retired a few years ago, this position has not been refilled, leading to a lack of essential food systems planning. Fifth, we request funding for Maryland Hunger Solutions to continue intensive outreach and advocacy efforts to ensure that county residents have access to SNAP and other essential federal nutrition programs. Additionally, we ask that you continue to fund our work with the Food Equity Council, including our food recovery program, as well as general operating support to help us advance food and farm priorities. We appreciate your leadership and continued support for our work, and we hope you will continue to make investments to sustain a healthy and equitable food system in Prince George's County. For additional information on these requests, we have submitted detailed written testimony. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you so much, Julia. And just bear with us, folks. I know some people kind of drop off and come back. And so we're trying to make sure that if you signed up, you're going to get to speak. So we're going backwards here to Gina Osmani. Please get ready, Gina. You're almost up. And Lorraine Holmes Settles. Lorraine Holmes Settled. Get ready. Gina Osmani, you're up. You got 3 minutes.
Hello, good evening. I firstly want to thank Mann County Executive also Brooks for the opportunity to speak for me today. My name is Gina Osmani. I'm the Community Connections Coordinator with Solution in Hometown Connections nonprofit organization, which is in District 3 PG County. I live in District 3 PG County. I live in Riverdale, Maryland. And my personal experience as being a refugee and immigrant in the United States as a newcomer is that it's very challenging for people who with a low level of English proficiency and to adapt into a new community while they're here with the vulnerable backgrounds, such as people who were refugees and immigrants, which is connecting to my personal experience being an immigrant and refugee coming from Afghanistan. I live in PG County since 2021, and I work with the Solutions and Hometown Connections since 2023. We offer English language classes, citizenship classes, and community connection resources to people who are not connected to the resources and they're not aware of. And we offer English classes for those women, especially from the refugees level, who are not exposed to the community and they're very isolated and they're mostly home. So we provide English classes online for them. And we also aim to provide services to reconnect people with SNAP services that they are not aware of. Also, Solutions and Hometown Connections really does impact people, refugees and immigrants in a greater way in PG County, and they're helping them to adapt into society and bring a change into the community where they're living now. So my experience as being an employee for the Solutions and Hometown Connections is that it's a great welcoming environment and organization and helps newcomers adjust to a new life in the United States. And at the end, I want to thank the Mann County Executive Elsa Brooks for giving me the opportunity to speak today here. And I want to mention that it's very crucial for the Solutions and Hometown Connections organization and such this nonprofit organizations to receive financial support from the office to last longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. Now, Lorraine, if you're ready, you're going to be up. Okay, looks like Lorraine may have dropped.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, here you are.
Good evening, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Good evening, Council Executive Elsa Brooks. I'm with the ARC Prince George's County. I'm the Chief Development Officer. I'm located next to the Wayne Curry Building at 1401 McCormick Drive in Largo, Maryland. The ARC has been in existence here in the county for 72 years, founded by families, residents, citizens of this county who many years ago were seeking solutions to find supports and services for their children who had intellectual and developmental disabilities. Tonight, I come to you because we are not only an organization that serves adults, but we are very much focused on helping young people who have various types of adjustment issues as they transition from high school to adulthood. You can imagine a student who's been in school all their lives. They have the support of their school system and nurses and other schedules that help them have structured lives. But when they become adults at 21, the services that they receive through the school system change completely. And they are now at a point where they are looking to receive services through the Developmental Disabilities Administration. We at the ARC have been working for the last several years, and with the county's support, you have helped us with two very important programs. One is called Ready at 21, which is a transitioning youth program, and the other is an internship program for seniors in the public school system with disabilities that currently exists on the campus at Joint Base Andrews. The program that would receive most of the funding that we requested this year would be the Transitioning Youth Program, which we're using as a way to expand our services to the young people that we already assist in this transitioning process. The difference now is that as a result of COVID, issues that existed even before the pandemic have become much more pronounced, and they tend to focus on behavioral and mental health issues. You can imagine that our mainstream society has had its share of difficulties coming out of the pandemic with isolation and other issues, but can you imagine people with disabilities who've often been left in the shadows, who were even more so disoriented by the change in their routines, the lack of contact with loved ones, and the need to find alternative ways to spend their time? We at the ARC are looking to have the county's support to help us as we begin to bring on a behavioral specialist, and we're partnering with Volunteers of America to help us with mental health services so that we can now begin to work with these families in a way that we've never done before, and that we're being asked more and more to provide services to support. This will allow us to work with more than, I would say, 100 youth in the coming year that are dealing with these issues out of our public school system and in our larger community. These services are offered free to families that need this assistance. And we're also opening this up to the Hispanic community. We have brought on bilingual speakers who are able to help with these audience. And we're finding that many of the people in the Hispanic community have no clue how to navigate behavioral, disability services, let alone any other kinds of services. We appreciate your support in the past and we appreciate it in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. And if I'm not breaking up right now, I think we are going to call Mr. James Johns, Ms. Callie Campos, and Ms. Linda Talley. James, you're first up. I know you've been waiting.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
All right. Good evening, Executive Officer Brooks and Director Early. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all this evening. I am a 45-year resident of Prince George's County, most of it spent in District 3. I also work for the Prince George's County Fire Department. I'm here to speak to you on upping our budget for staffing. Due to our staffing current levels, we have to change our dispatch procedures throughout the day due to available units. This is a detriment to the citizens of the area. In the months of August and September, due to our low staffing levels, there was almost 13,000 hours of forced overtime in 2 months. That means in 2 months, we had members, firefighters, paramedics, officers who were not able to go home or were told you have to come back in on your day
Hi,
off.
I don't know if you're listening to all of this, but I just finished the testimony for us. So I just wanted you to know it.
I'm sorry, what was that? Sorry, someone cut in on us.
No worries,
Currently,
James, go ahead. I think that was somebody who was taken off mute, but it's all you.
okay. Currently, we have an attrition rate of three personnel per month. It takes 7 months to hire. It took 7 months to hire 38 firefighters for this current class. In that 7 months, we were down 21 firefighters. In the next 6 months, we'll be down another 18. So it's a total of 39 people down in that time period. So total, we haven't gained anybody for hiring those people. We're already behind 75 positions to start with, and that's not even enough. We can't staff the fire department like we did in the 90s. I know, I was a volunteer in the 90s, and volunteer service is going downhill across the country. We need to up our staffing. We need to provide better for our citizens. So just to give you a few more little tidbits, the city of Nashville is about the same size as Prince George's County. The city of Nashville has 400 more firefighters on duty daily. Prince George's County is the 16th busiest fire department in the country. We are also the busiest, being the 16th busiest department that relies on volunteer participation to help augment our staffing. Montgomery County, just across the line, runs 40,000 less calls a year than we do, but they have 300 more career firefighters on the floor. And they also have a $40 million greater budget than we do. The median property tax in Prince George's County is the 3rd in the state. Yet we don't have the same budget as Prince George or as Howard County and Montgomery County does for their fire departments. In short, I feel that we need to do whatever we can to increase the staffing level of the fire department. We can't increase any of these other programs without increasing that. You're not providing the public safety that we need. Thank you for the time and good evening.
Oop, I was on mute there. James, thank you so much. We'll go to our next speaker, which is Callie. Callie, you're up.
County Executive Elsa Brooks. My name is Callie Crumpos, and I'm here on behalf of the Capitol Trails Coalition, which is made up of member organizations across Prince George's and Montgomery counties in Maryland, the District of Columbia, and Northern Virginia. We're working to prioritize the development, maintenance, and programming of the nearly 1,000 miles of planned and existing multi-use trails in the network. More than 300 miles of those planned and existing trails are located in Prince George's County. However, more than 200 of those 300 miles haven't been completed yet, and some of the current trails are suffering from a lack of sufficient maintenance. We know you're aware of the importance of building out the network of multi-use trails, which are resources for people of all ages and abilities to walk, roll, bike, and more for transportation and recreation. County residents feel the same way. The Prince George's County Trails Master Plan found that nearly 80% of Prince George's County residents think it's very important to add, expand, and improve trails. While we understand the county is facing a tough budget environment, investments in trails help advance transportation safety, health, and environmental goals and have been shown to produce a significant return on investment. In terms of the county's fiscal year 2025 operating budget, we applaud the Prince George's County Department of Parks and Recreation for their recent strategic investment in new parkland and for their work on trail maintenance. Looking ahead, we call for funding to support staff to move forward, plan capital projects, especially those projects that already have funding, and to maintain trails in the county as we endure inclement weather and flooding. We request funding for the Department of Public Works and Transportation to ensure adequate staffing to design and engineer pedestrian safety improvements and cycling infrastructure, to accelerate project development and construction, to leverage federal and state transportation funding, and to do maintenance and paths along roads. We also call for the county's capital budget to maintain project spending and to maximize the county's investments in safer infrastructure for people of all ages and abilities to walk, roll, and bike, especially in priority trail projects like the Purple Line Trail, Oxen Run Trail, Suitland Parkway Trail, Prince George's County Connector, and the WB&A Connector. Improvements to multi-use trails and facilities for walking and biking in central and southern parts of the county are especially needed, where there are currently fewer transit connections and limited on-street infrastructure to allow people to get around without a personal vehicle. Thank you for your consideration.
And thank you, Callie. Up next is Linda.
Hello, I am Linda Talley, and I'm a resident in the town of Upper Marlboro. And I came here tonight just to ask for you guys to fund the Western Branch Levee project, specifically downtown Upper Marlboro. The need was recently demonstrated when Water Street and Route 725 flooded 3 times in just a 6-week period this winter. It led to at least 1 water rescue by emergency services. That flooding endangers both the pedestrians and the vehicles, but it also disrupts the necessary traffic to get to the courthouse. So many of the courthouse visitors rely on parking at the nearby Showplace Arena, which is cut off completely by high water. Funding this project will alleviate, if not eliminate, the impact of future flood events and the impact that has on both the business owners, residents, and the visitors to Upper Marlboro. So that's why I thought it was important to come here and ask for funding for the levee project. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. I know that we have 3 more folks that are ready to go. That is Marcia Dalbert, Megan Bako, and Melissa Schweiguth. Marcia, you're up next. You've got 3 minutes.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, I can't start the video. I don't know what's going on there, but oh, there we go. Start my video. Okay.
Take your time.
My name is Marsha. Can you see me? Hear me? My name is Marsha.
We can see you. We can hear you.
All right. Thank you. My name is Marsha, and I'm with Outlaw Kitties, TNR Rescue. We are a cat organization. We work with the public throughout the county. We have done over 2,000 cats, getting them spayed and neutered. We have cat advocates and cat groups throughout the county, but we have a problem. Every county in the state of Maryland have a program where they provide free spay neutering for their residents, but Prince George's County, which is funny because Prince George's County have the most clinics and people drive for 4-5 hours away to come to our clinics here in the county. We're asking the county to fund our spay and neutering programs. We get a lot of calls from residents who are having problems with cats because of this area is so transit. People are moving in and they're moving out and they're abandoning their pets and they're not altered. The pets are not spayed or neutered and they are making babies like crazy. We deal with a lot of issues with the residents of Prince George's County. We also have to mitigate different situations. Some of them are violent, some of them are mean or abusive to each other, to the cat, to even animal control, where we're trying to get this together. And a lot of this stuff can be handled by each council member donating to their individual district, along with the county donating monies to different groups or different clinics to make sure that this problem is controlled. We really need this funding. You really don't realize how many people call all the groups to have cats taken care of. So with that, I would like to say thank you and please give. All right, have a good day or good night, I guess.
Good night, Marcia. Thank you for your help. Okay. Megan, back up.
Hello, good evening, Executive Also Brooks staff and friends. My name is Megan Bacco. My pronouns are they, them. I'm the Executive Director of the State Certified Cultural Tourism District in Prince George's County. We're known as Anacostia Trails Heritage Area and Maryland Milestones. Our mission is to enhance cultural destinations and create educational experiences for residents and visitors alike. Over the past 20 years, we've helped seed and support projects related to revitalization, adaptive reuse, investment in the promotion of our main streets and legacy small businesses. Also, correcting the narrative at historic sites. We've been responsible and honored to work on projects that created new historical research and new historical interpretive markers about the civil rights movement in Upper Marlboro, North Brentwood, and Laurel, and a women's suffrage self-guided bike tour. We're grateful to do this work with the support of the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority in the Maryland Department of Planning. Each year, our designation as a certified heritage area typically brings nearly $1 million of direct financial investment to our historic neighborhoods and properties, cultural sites, and recreational trails, not to mention the hard to put a value on intangible benefits of those places and spaces. And each year we must match that investment from the state with our own funds. Some of that comes from the county, thank you, and some of it from our municipal partners. So as a small nonprofit and a source of technical assistance in this sphere to even smaller organizations, often all volunteer organizations, I want to highlight some of the county programs that our work together relies on. We should all be proud, first, we should all be proud of the work and grant making of our Historic Preservation Commission at the county. They preserve special places.
Wow, okay, did Megan get to finish or was she trying? Megan, can you hear me? Megan, you are muted.
All right, I will pick up where I dropped off. Thank you so much. Okay, so I was talking about the Historic Preservation Commission, and the point I wanted to make there is that it is a very rare grant program, actually across Maryland, that our county has that supports not only museums and organizations, but also private property owners that need financial assistance to understand and take care of their historic properties. That includes repairs for primary residences. Second, The Community Partnerships Grant, again, very rare funding opportunity for essential source of or operational and programmatic funds for our small nonprofits. As we all know, and we've even heard earlier today, the requests to the community partnership grants far exceed the available funding. With additional funding, those requests could be immediately funded and put to excellent use. Lastly, I want to thank the county for their commitment to the successful and efficient operation of the Maryland National Capital Parks and Planning Commission. MNC PPC historic sites are world-class destinations with world-class employees right in our backyards. Site directors have undertaken projects like the now annual Latinas in Aviation at the College Park Aviation Museum, to the first commissioned portrait of a Black resident at Riversdale Historic House and Mansion. MNC PPC sites are touchstones for us all to experience. We thank you for your support of this agency and encourage an increase in support of their work, as well as an increase in their project charge funds that MNC PPC then makes available to its nonprofit partners to further all of our work. Lastly, as we embark in this year's statewide 60th anniversary commemoration of the Civil Rights Movement and prepare for America's semi-quincentennial, we knew that was going to happen, in 2026, also known as America 250, our heritage sites and cultural nonprofits need increased funding now to conduct the historical research, correct the historical narrative, and create the exhibits and cultural experiences we all want to offer to our residents and visitors alike this year and in the years to come. Thank you very much for your time. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Have a great evening. Thank you.
No worries, Megan. You did wonderful. Next three names I'm going to call. Please be ready. We're going to promote you and get you on your way to providing your 3 minutes. We have Melissa, we have Nellie, and we have Peter. That's Melissa Schweguth, Nellie Ortiz, Peter Daniels. Melissa, you've got 3 minutes.
All right, thank you. So my name is Melissa. I live in Melissa Schweiguth. I typed my name wrong, but you said it perfectly as I typed it wrong. So thank you for that. And I'm here with Thelonious. He's my adopted shelter cat, and I've also adopted a trail with Thelonious. And this evening, I'm going to talk a little bit about support for the shelter and safe streets. I don't need to say a lot about safe streets because Ms. Crumpos has very eloquently made a lot of good requests, and you'll hear from Mr. Grimes later. Just wanted to echo the request for the operating budget for more staff to work on designs specific to bike and pedestrian, particularly to support, the county has done a wonderful job of getting grants to address our high injury network and supporting some trail development grants, but we really need to accelerate that work, particularly because the county passed the Walkable Urban Streets Act last year, which calls for the county to not only create safe street infrastructure for new streets, but to retrofit. And that is going to cost us money each year. So looking at the capital improvement plan as well, capital improvement budget, as well as the operating budget, and looking at some staff resources to continue securing those grants. We have been very successful, and I hope that does continue because, again, as Mr. Lemieux has stated, our road deaths are increasing. We are not trending toward vision zero. We're trending the wrong way. I know you want to go the right way, so just allocating a bit more money. Animal shelter, I have been volunteering for several months, and I've fostered cats. I've fostered about 86 felines. I've been fostering for about 3 years now. And I did want to ask, to please for some, not only just more money for the shelter, but to spend it more wisely. Would love to see an increase in animal control response. I was bit by 2 dogs in December. Police didn't even call me back. I haven't gotten any certainty that this dog, which ran out of a backyard and bit me when I was on the sidewalk completely unprovoked, that is going to be addressed. I'm in Hyattsville, pretty far away from, it's not a quick response time. Some other folks have spoken about the shelter and more staff and better trained staff. The shelter has had several outbreaks of dog and cat diseases just in the past few months. And some of that is just lack of training, lack of a full-time vet that could prevent those instances that cause a lot of deaths. in terms of spending more money more wisely, please end breed-specific legislation. As folks have noted, it fills the shelter, it causes unnecessary deaths. Staff spent a lot of time trying to get those pit bulls out of county when they could find good homes here, and neither dog that bit me was a pit bull. So that's breed-specific, and we don't even know what a pit bull is. So please do support the shelter and smart, safe streets. Thanks so much. I appreciate
Thank you so much, Melissa.
I appreciate your time and all the staff that are spending your evening after a very busy day listening to us. So thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, Melissa. And I just wanted to note, Ms. Wingfield, we see your hand. We will probably get to you once we get to the letter T. Please stick around. Okay, and so next speaker, Michael. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael's not here. Nellie Ortiz. Nellie, you are kind of chopped up.
Hello?
We can hear you now. Can we see you?
I am trying to fix that issue. I'm so sorry.
No worries. All right, Nellie, I'm going to let you figure out the camera. No worries, you're gonna get to speak. But we're just gonna go ahead and ask Mr. Peter Daniels, Peter Daniels, to step up and turn on your camera and get ready to give your 3 minutes.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks to the council and executive also Brooks very much for this opportunity. It's great that you give this opportunity to folks like us to speak on this important subject. My name is Peter Daniels. I have no formal title to offer. I'm just a parent of 2 girls who have attended Prince George's County Public Schools since kindergarten. They are now in middle school at Hyattsville Middle and Kettering Middle. I'm here tonight to ask for full funding of the blueprint for Maryland's future in this year's Prince George's County budget. You know, when the blueprint was enacted in 2021, it was the first time that many parents like myself felt seen and heard on the issue of public schools education funding. You know, up until that point, the sort of chronic lack of investment in our schools, specifically in our teachers and our students, up until that point, it was kind of a disheartening situation. And I'm just imploring the council and the county executive to not backpedal at this point in time. So much progress has been made, but we have so much further to go. The blueprint is already helping our county in so many ways. You know, we have new pre-K programs, we have more board certified teachers, we have more resources for impoverished families. And let us not forget that the blueprint reorganized state education funding so that counties like ours finally get our fair share from the state. In my humble opinion, you know, for this county, there should be no higher priority than full funding for the blueprint. You know, unfortunately, our schools still suffer from a reputation that lags much of the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. I know our teachers and our administrators are working hard to change that, but the reality is the reality. And we're not going to help them by shortchanging blueprint funding at this stage. We have to keep the promises made when leaders of this county endorse the blueprint for Maryland's future. The blueprint is about systemic education improvements, but it's also about making up for years of chronic underinvestment in our students and our teachers. You know, this is not the time to go back to the good old days of shortchanging education every time a budget shortfall looms on the horizon. This is a time, frankly, that calls for leadership. We depend on our leaders to make tough choices when necessary. In this case, this means standing up for the powerless, our children, by not being afraid to make tough decisions, if necessary, on revenue that will allow for full blueprint funding and so many of the other priorities we've heard about this evening. Shortchanging the blueprint now is an error that must be avoided because it will snowball in the future. I think we should put our faith in the vision embraced by county leaders like State Senator Alonzo Washington and former Senator Paul Pinsky, who fought tooth and nail to see the blueprint enacted. For our children, our teachers, and frankly, the future prosperity of our county, I ask that we please maintain full funding for the blueprint. I thank you all for listening and have a good evening.
Truly appreciate your time, Peter. Now, Nellie, let's try again.
Hello, I apologize for the technical difficulties there. I do appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Nellie. I am a resident of Prince George's County, and I have been for the past 29 years. I am an animal control officer, and I have been for the past 8 years within the Prince George's County. I am a current volunteer for the Prince George's County Animal Shelter to advocate for the animals of the county. As someone who formerly managed an animal shelter and animal control program, I am here to ask for a budget raise for the Prince George's County Animal Services Division. A need for staffing is necessary to provide enrichment to the animals held at the shelter. Animals, just like humans, need daily interaction. The animals need time outside of their kennels on a daily basis to exercise, not only for their body well-being, but for their state of mind to reduce stress during their stay at the shelter. I'm also requesting funding for a TNR program within the city for services for feral cats within the county. The county currently has no funding for a TNR program or any TNR services for residents. Each year, dozens of kittens are born outside, and by funding a TNR program for the county, this would definitely help reduce the cat population within the county. So I do just like to, just request some funding there. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for your time. Now, we're going to call the next 3 names. You should be already in the panelist section. When I call your name, I'm going to call them in the order in which you should speak. First name is Seth Grimes. Second name is Sharkika Beeman. Third name is Sherry James. Seth, I think you're up.
Thank you very much. My name is Seth Grimes. I am Maryland organizer with the Washington Area Bicyclist Association. WABA envisions a just and sustainable transportation system where walking, biking, and transit are the best ways to get around. We and our members are active in Prince George's County, working with the County Council, county agencies, and Prince George's County's wonderful municipalities on safe streets and active transportation options. We've worked to build strong relationships with MNCPPC, the Department of Public Works and Transportation, and State Highway Administration and Maryland Transit Administration officials responsible for state roads and Purple Line construction in Prince George's County. We appreciate the attention and resources that the county has put into a diversity of projects and initiatives. The Blue Line Corridor and Central Avenue Connector Trail, the Walkable Urban Streets Act, bike share expansion, and the Acre Road Green Complete Street project, although it's not everything one could hope for. Let's maintain the pace of project development and strive to do even better. County Executive Brooks, you launched Vision Zero Prince George's to, quote, make our streets safe for everyone by 2040, eliminating all traffic fatalities and severe injuries, while increasing safe, healthy, equitable mobility for all, including people who walk, bike, drive, and use transit, end quote. However, Prince George's County experienced 129 road deaths in 2023, including 39 pedestrians and 3 bicyclists. We've seen too many tragedies, like the deaths of 5-year-old Sky Sosa and 10-year-old Shalom Mabah, killed in November walking to school in Riverdale Park. Prince George's experienced 113 road deaths in 2019, and again, 129 last year. We are going in the wrong direction. We're making no progress. We're going in the wrong direction. WAPA's FY2025 suggestion has 3 points. On the capital budget side, please maintain project spending and maximize the county's investment in sidewalks, pedestrian crossing improvements, separated bike lanes and trails, to add to the county's bike network and encourage walking and biking, and also to boost transit utilization and ease traffic congestion. On the operational side, at modest cost, please add DPW&T design and engineering staff focused on pedestrian safety improvements, safe roadways, and cycling infrastructure to accelerate project development and construction, tapping federal and state transportation funding. And finally, please create a Prince George's County e-bike purchase subsidy program, heavily income qualified, to boost uptake of this ultra-green mobility solution. Washington, D.C.'s program, implemented in 2023, provides an excellent local example of what you can do without breaking the bank. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening on behalf of WABA and our Prince George's County members, and we look forward to working with you and administration in the future.
Thanks for your comment, Seth. Next up, we have Sharkika Beaton. You can correct me if I got it wrong.
Thank you. The name is Sharkika Beeman. I'm not with a nonprofit organization. I'm only speaking as a county resident. In the last year, the red tape in the budget for community services has been a disappointment. The services are there, but it's so much red tape. As a resident, I've worked and paid taxes, and I was furloughed a year ago, and it was so much red tape as far as getting community services. It took me a year to get unemployment. I was denied, and also then it was a nightmare. I'm a student at PG County Community College. I went back to school at 50 years old. I'm almost done. But it's so much red tape as a person that's been paying taxes in the state of Maryland for so long. I don't know where to begin. I love PG County Community College. We're still there. Supposed to be the Chesapeake building still hasn't been done. And like I said, it's so much red tape. It's a lot of nonprofits out here, but it's so much trying to get help in the state of PG County is ridiculous. I lost my husband during COVID. My son was getting survivor benefits. I mean, it's just a plethora of a lot of stuff that don't make sense. As a person that has been trying to do good in the county, even trying to get a state job, it's a lot of red tape with these assessments and just jobs there. It's all over the board, indeed, but it's a lot of red tape and it's low pay as a person that has been working for many, many years. I should not have to, my son shouldn't be working at Home Depot making more money as a person that's been working, and the state government want to pay me $17 an hour for jobs. And I don't have a nonprofit. I have grants, but I have not put it through. But it just needs help for people like us, you know, that's trying to make it here. And I've sent notices to the office, to your office, Ms. Officer Brooks. I appreciate this time. I'm sure everybody's doing what they have to do, but it should not take this much to get help from the county that you work and lived in. It's disappointing. So that's what I have to say. Thank you for this time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. I think we are trying to get our next speaker, but I think that will be now Stephanie Lansing, Tiffany Turner, and Tanya Wingfield, in that order.
This is Sherry James. Can you hear me?
Ms. James, there you are. Okay.
How do
We're
I
able
get
to
my,
get your
how do I get the
camera up.
camera on so you can see me?
It should be next to your mute. Stop video, start video. At the bottom of your screen. There you are. You are now visible. Now you have to unmute yourself.
And then can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Excellent.
You're up. You have
I
3
thought I was
minutes.
gonna get stuck. I really did.
No worries.
Thank you for being such an expert. First of all, I want to introduce myself and also say that the things I'm going to speak on are things in reference to me being a resident for the past 30 plus years. And also, so it's not in my capacity as an employee, but as a taxpaying resident for the past 30 years. I want to say this. I understand everyone's desire and needs, and I appreciate and respect everything that everyone has said today. I want to come from another viewpoint, and that is that I'm not here, Ms. Alsabrook, to ask you for not one dime. Not one dime. I understand what a budget looks like. And I say I understand what a budget looks like because I've always taught my kids, you can't spend what you don't have. And if you do, you're going to end up in trouble. It says that the state of Maryland is $761 million shortfall. That came from, I can't find where the actual quote came from. It says in the Washington Post, Prince George's County has a shortfall of 171 million. And you know, all these numbers are kind of fudgy. You know, it might be a little less, a little bit more. I can't understand, tell you the truth, how anyone, not even just you, but how anyone, where's the money gonna come from? That's what I like to know. Where's all the extra money coming from if you got a shortfall? I own property in Prince George's County, and my assessment went up $40,000 just this year. So all that stuff about we're not gonna give you no more taxes, that's a tax right there. That's a tax right there because my tax bill is gonna go up because of that assessment. And yes, it probably is needed to pay for, for all the shortfalls that we have. I have never been lived in Prince George's County, and we've had this type of situation. I've never, I can't even recall it, 30-some plus years. I speak from a medical background, and I would love for everybody to have insurance. Trust me, I really would. I would love for everyone to have a whole lot of free stuff. But where is the money going to come from? Please. It's just not rational. And, even if we were to fund all this stuff, where is the money going to come from? I talk to my kids all the time about, being fiscally responsible. I always tell them, you can't, again, like, the need and capacity may not always balance out, and you got to make some priority decisions associated with that. Yes, it would be nice to have some of everything, but we just can't. The last thing I want to say to you, Ms. Alsabrook, you have done a fantastic job. I've been happy that I've been in the boat with you. And I can tell you that I know as far as politics is concerned, it's a lot of pressure. Everybody, want this, want that. Everybody was saying, I did you this when you should do this for me. You have maintained your steadiness. And good luck with your election next time around, okay?
Okay, Ms. James, thank you.
Thank you for helping me.
time.
I thought I was going to get all jacked up and everything. Appreciate you.
Oh, we don't want to cut anyone off. All right.
All right.
Now we have Stephanie Lansing with her camera up, ready to go.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you so much, County Executive Alsabrook, for this opportunity to testify. My name is Stephanie Lansing. I've lived in the county for over 15 years, and I work in the county. I'm a professor at the University of Maryland. And I've also had the pleasure of having my 2 children in Prince George's County School for their entire educational system. And my daughter's actually graduating in May from Prince George's County School. So I'm thoroughly invested in this county. Through my work at the University of Maryland doing extension and research, I've had the pleasure of witnessing the impact of the Prince George's County Food Equity Council for many, many years. I serve as the vice co-chair of the Maryland Food System Resiliency Council. So this was actually started 3 years ago at the COVID pandemic, and realizing that we were siloed and we really needed to work across. We needed the Department of Ag to talk to the Department of Environment, to the Department of Health and Human Services, and to the Department of Emergency Management. So this council was developed to really work across those agencies. And through this work, I've been working with the Prince George's Food Equity Council for many, many years, and I've seen the impact that they've had. Not only, we have food surplus. Can anyone come do it? Coordinating volunteers. If they didn't do that, this would all go into the landfill. Coordinating, grant programs. They're actually part of a grant program working with Montgomery County and other counties to build these kind of food councils in every county. So the Prince George's Food Council is doing amazing work, but they really need the support, because in Prince George's County, 46% of our residents are food insecure at one point, including 20% of our children. And so they really need the support to increase the impact that they have on bringing food to the people that need it the most. We've been looking at the numbers going to these food banks. And again, these are volunteer led. So without staff support at the Prince George's Food Equity Council, they're the ones that are the glue that help all of these food pantries and distribution sites and cold storage places and all of these grocery stores that want a place to match with, to give the food. They're the ones that do all of this. And so our disparities are still vast. If you look at the Montgomery County Food Council and all the resources that they have, we have more need in this county, and yet we need to give the resources to the Prince George's Food Equity Council so that we can really, increase the work that they do. And this also needs to support our food assistant providers. Again, we need like a strategic grant program focused on building capacity infrastructure and food purchasing coordination with the Department of Social Services, the Food Security Office, the Prince George's Food Equity Council. We really need to provide grant money to build up these on the force, these frontline providers who are providing food to our food insecure populations. So that's to, core staffing, operate the food pantry, delivering the food, getting refrigerated trucks, vehicles. All of this thing really needs to be supported by our county government. And finally, we need a public benefits food coordinator to help, again, work across these silos across Prince George's community government, so that we have someone who's working at thinking about public benefits and food systems from a collective perspective in the schools, in the thing, to really get people into our public benefit systems from a systematic point of view. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I appreciate your time.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. Tiffany Turner.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Good. Good evening, County Executive Brooks and Director Early. My name is Tiffany Turner. I'm a longtime and proud District 7 resident, and I'm speaking this evening as the Executive Director of Nonprofit Prince George's County. We're a 23-year-old organization with more than 200 nonprofit members that support and advocate for our community's well-being and future. I'm here today to respectfully request that you increase in your budget funding for the Community Partnerships Grant for nonprofits. I am also asking for a specific set aside in the budget for nonprofit Prince George's County to continue providing the necessary capacity building support that we currently provide for our county nonprofit organizations. Nonprofits in our county are not just organizations. They're the backbone of our community support system. We provide essential services that range from health and education to emergency assistance and environmental preservation. Nonprofit organizations fill the gaps that neither the government nor the private sector can address effectively on their own. The impact of nonprofits in our community is immense. For instance, we have nonprofits that provide meals to residents experiencing food insecurity, rental assistance to those that have fallen behind on their rental payments, or even providing much needed job training and mentorship to youth and those that are re-entering society. These are just a few of the examples among the many where the work of the nonprofit members that we have been instrumental in improving the lives and fostering community resilience. However, these organizations in our county more often than not are operating at the edge of their capacities. The demand for their services is growing, and their financial resources are not keeping pace. Increased funding through the Community Partnerships Grant would provide these vital organizations with the stability that they need to plan effectively, expand their services, and meet the increasing demands of our community. Similarly, increasing the non-departmental grant controlled by the County Council would also allow for a more diverse allocation of resources, ensuring that even the smallest yet crucial nonprofits have access to some of the funding that they need. This increase is not just about numbers, it's about enabling these organizations to continue to do their critical work. As we've seen, especially in times of crisis, the role of nonprofits is irreplaceable. We are often the first responders, the last line of support, and the steady hand that's guiding our community through these various challenges. Our work not only addresses immediate needs, but enhances the infrastructure and also helps to build a stronger, more interconnected community. By investing in our nonprofits, we're investing in the heart and soul of our county. We're ensuring a stronger, more resilient community capable of facing any challenge and seizing every opportunity for growth and development. So I just respectfully ask you, as a decision maker and a trusted leader, to really consider the profound effect and impact that increasing funding to our nonprofits would have. Thank you so much for your time and consideration today.
Good job, Tiffany. That was really on time. Now, I just want to make sure that if you know anyone who's signed up to speak and has not gotten to speak yet, that they make sure that they make it on. We're going to try to get through everyone. Now we have 2 more speakers. Next up, Ms. Tanya Wingfield. Tanya, you're up.
Thank you. Okay, I want to say good evening to everybody. I'm a member of the Citizens for Accountability and Governance, and there are 4 budget priorities that we would like to share this evening. First is for the supportive efforts to prevent the waste of taxpayer dollars due to abuse, fraud, and waste by giving more funding to the Office of Ethics and Accountability. Currently, this office has only 1 investigator, 1 attorney, and 1 compliance specialist for the entire county. Now, if we were to count the total number of members on the school board, the county council, and department heads, that alone is an unrealistic ratio to oversee the county's ethics. So we would like to see more funding there. Mental health services for our youth and young adults. We would also like to see a priority for foreclosure and eviction prevention through counseling and referral services, and less unfunded initiatives coming out of the county council, which is duplicating the work of nonprofits and impacting revenues and funds earmarked for nonprofits. That concludes my testimony. Thank you.
Thanks for keeping it under 3. Great job. Now we have 1 more registered speaker who is present. That is Ms. Felicia Jackson.
Good evening. This is Felicia. How are you all?
Felicia, you're up.
Thank you.
Doing well, doing well.
Everyone, my name is Felicia Jackson, a taxpaying citizen in District 8 for exactly 13 years as of next week, and an independent rescuer focusing on trap, neuter, return efforts for the majority of that time. However, because of this may be my last year in the county. I'm here on behalf of a couple of issues, starting with asking that our county prioritize the spay, neuter, and vaccination expenses of owned and unowned animals, hiring highly skilled and trained personnel, for example, on-staff veterinarians, and building a fully functional animal management facility in the southern portion of the county to respond to the steady increase of people and animals. I've always been hesitant to leave my house after dusk before the increased likelihood of being carjacked, because I knew I would likely run into a colony of cats that I would then have to take on getting trapped, fixed out of my own pocket and time, or encounter a loose dog the animal control wouldn't be staffed to respond to, putting my safety at risk. A popular saying is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And while that is not the actual definition, it applies to the county's approach to animal management, as does inept, inhumane, and inadequate as defined. My question is, where is the root cause? Is it animal services that's inept because they do not know how to do things differently? I can say with confidence that lack of education isn't the issue, because thanks to the rescue groups in Prince George's County, national organizations like Best Friends Society, and other DC metro area animal services organizations, they have been educated and shown how to do things more effectively in a sustainable manner. Or is it the Department of Environmental Services who have the funding and choose not to prioritize the humanity required in animal welfare management by ignoring that the money is annually being expended, yet the same problems persist and or grow? Or is it the county budget formulation process that is inadequate? And rather than making data-informed decisions, instead fills the gaps of financial mismanagement on the backs of taxpayers in the form of higher taxes, coupled with the use of our personal funds to respond to the insanity of the county's current animal management practices. Please help me answer my question as you decide how to fund animal management, how to empower their ability to apply said funding, and how to hold them accountable through data reporting from both the county personnel and local nonprofits who are positioned to provide unaltered facts, not influenced by job security or bureaucracy. Secondly, I'd like the county to take a look at the gap within family services for individuals like myself who are considered informal kinship providers, meaning the children we are caring for never entered the social services system. However, they can no longer be cared for by the individuals who create. The financial, emotional, and mental and physical impact of these sometimes overnight changes are absolutely devastating for the providers and these children. If taken into county social services foster system, not only would the county pay monthly to have them housed, they would pay for health insurance, personnel to manage the foster care process, and the highest cost possible of the child who does not feel the warmth of the village burning it down to feel its warmth. Informal kinship providers need financial assistance regardless of our income, mental health services, safe childcare and respite options, and dedicated consideration budget allocation. My very last thing I want to squeeze in is to please get walkable sidewalks and sustainable lighting in every area where our children are designated as walkers, as they currently have to walk in the street and or sidewalks that resemble the design of roller coasters at Six Flags. Thank you for your time.
Felicia, we appreciate your time and statements.
Thank
Okay, and with that, I believe that was our last speaker. And this concludes the FY 2025 proposed budget listening session. We're truly grateful for everyone who participated this evening and those watching on the live stream on YouTube and LinkedIn. As a reminder, written comments are still being accepted until Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. And I'll repeat that. As a reminder, written comments are still being accepted until Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. Please email your comments to email address omb@co.pg.md.us. omb@co.pg.md.us. But before we leave, Madam County Executive also Brooks, do you have any final closing remarks?
Well, I certainly, first of all, to thank you, Sasha, for hosting tonight. You did a great job. And to all of our residents, I want to just give you a very sincere thank you to each of you who have come out tonight, who have taken the time to share your priorities with us. I want you to know that we take them very seriously. And I really do appreciate the time you've taken to share with us your concerns and desires regarding the way that we should structure our budget and the priorities that we should fund. I want to thank Stan Early and our Office of Management and Budget, the entire team, for the work that they have done as well. And again, thank you so much to everyone for coming out tonight. This certainly does help us as we move forward, and we'll look forward to continuing to communicate with you regarding the priorities of our county and regarding our budget. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Night.